So, hi everybody, we're going to be cooking again today in my kitchen. We've had a little bit of an upgrade and you can actually see me today cooking, so that's really nice. And I've also got a lovely helper who's come all the way from Glasgow to learn how to make cakes.
Hi guys.
Although she's already a very good cake maker. And some of you may recognise her from Britain's Best Home Cook. It is Josie. Yay.
Hi everyone.
So yeah, Josie's going to be making a cake with me this morning. I'm going to show her how I do mine because she's really got into baking lately, and then she's going to show me some of her really tasty recipes. So I'm really excited for that, and they'll be in a separate video down below. So these will also be coming out on your channel as well at some point.
Yes, hopefully.
Right. Right, okay, so let's make a start. So we're going to be making a cake that was really popular on Instagram a couple of months ago, my Biscoff cake. So we've got some spice biscuit spread and some Lotus Biscoff biscuits, which we're going to be using to fill the cake later. We're going to be making a basic sponge with golden caster sugar rather than the normal caster sugar, because it gives it a bit more of a caramelly sort of flavour. Can you see it's a bit darker? Do you use this at all in your cooking?
No, just a normal caster sugar.
If you want to do something just a little bit more sort of deeper, richer caramel flavour, I use these in my cheesecake, so it's a good one to have in the cupboard.
I'll remember that.
We're going to make a start by lining our tins, and I use Trex. I don't know if any of you at home use that.
I've not seen that in our supermarket back in Glasgow.
Yeah, it probably is there. It's a vegetable shortening, so it's like a hard vegetable fat. And I only use this for greasing my tins. And a little bit of grease for flavour. And I'm just gonna get a little bit of it.
I'm loving the sweet tips.
And then
we're gonna need.
You can use butter and then they put flour in the bottom, but this is the way I found the best to stop cakes sticking.
Right, okay. I've never mastered that. Sometimes I still get things stuck at the bottom.
Oh, is it? Right, okay. This is a really good way of doing it. So I'm going to show you then. I've just cut some, these were like pre-cut pieces from the pound shop in square, and I just cut them round. So what I'm going to do is crunch them up. Right. Because if you try and put this in, it doesn't really fit. But if I unscrunch it now, it gets it much easier to put into the corners.
I'm actually enjoying the tips that I'm learning at the moment, so this is definitely a good tip for me.
Yeah, well hopefully now you can take these away and carry on making your beautiful cakes, and this will be a new one that you can add to your inventory of cakes for your work college. Do you want to go greasing it?
Yes, please.
There we are. I'll scrunch. I like scrunching.
I'm just gonna get on with the greasing.
Yeah, you could use a bit of kitchen roll as well. That's what I prefer to use, but I haven't got any this morning. So that's my sort of preference.
So do you just cut generously?
Quite generous. You don't want any sort of lumps of it. But yeah, that's like a nice coating. That's fine. I'll give you the next one. Nice. I'll line these. And I tend to line my pans before I start cooking, so they're ready to go. Yeah, well, we've got our oven on 175 fan heating, but everyone's oven is actually a little bit different. Yeah. So your oven might need 180 or 170. Mine's 175. 175. My old oven was 180, but the new oven's a lot more ferocious.
And we're going to be talking about Celsius this time, not Fahrenheit.
Yes, Celsius, not Fahrenheit. I've got stalk, which is what my preference is to make cakes with, but I do also like butter, but it depends what sort of recipe. So if you want to pop that in the mixer. Okay. And then we said we've got a golden caster sugar. I always make cakes in ounces, not grams. So this may confuse some people. I will convert it to grams in the recipe on the website. But I don't actually have a set recipe for cakes. I weigh my eggs in the shell like this, weigh them, and then I weigh everything else in the same weight. Really? So this morning, these 7 eggs weighed 14.9 ounces. So my stalk was 14.9 ounces, my golden caster sugar and my flour will be 14.9 ounces. Right. Right, so we pop this in as well. Okay. And then we're going to turn the mixer on then. We start off slow and then we turn it right up to high. Push it down.
As you can see, I don't really use things. Wait, I had a fright.
So we'll just turn that off now. And if we open it up, you can see that it's much lighter than it was. That's where we've creamed our sugar and butter together. Perfect. This won't cream in as well as white caster sugar because it's less refined, but that's what we want for this cake, so that's absolutely fine. So the next step now I've got some vanilla bean paste, which is what I like to use. Good quality vanilla is always good.
I've not used that before.
You can have a smell now, it's really strong.
I love
nice
that smell. Yeah.
I'm gonna say a teaspoon.
A teaspoon. I better remember this.
I never measure my vanilla. If you have a little bit more, it's fine. And then I've got my flour here ready. And we're gonna I always put a pinch of salt in my baking.
Yeah.
I think it brings out the flavour. So we're gonna put in 2 eggs.
2 eggs first.
Yeah. And then we're gonna put in a good sort of chunk of flour. This stops it curdling. So we're going to mix it again on slow just for it to mix, and then right up to high then. Right. And then we're going to add each egg until it's fully incorporated. Turn that off. And you can see now how creamy that mixture is getting.
Yeah.
Just take it off so we can show the camera. Not sure what you can see. I'll pop it back on. And now we're just going to put our flour in. And now at this point, we want as little mixing as possible.
Right, okay.
Because you don't want to work the gluten in the flour. You know, if you work the gluten for bread, it's the opposite for cakes.
I don't really mix them quite a lot. It's just
very light. Yeah. So I use the stand mixer until it's almost fully incorporated, and then I take it off for the last bit.
Right.
To do it myself. So that's looking where I want it to be now to come off the mixer.
Okay.
So I'm going to scrape this down. So it doesn't take very long, and we're going to make 3 cake pans with this.
Right.
And they're all going to cook at the same time. And I much prefer little cake pans like this.
I don't have that.
They cook in. These are really cheap. These are about £2 from Morrison's each.
Is it like an 8-inch?
This is an 8-inch, yeah. But you can get different sizes. I like to cook them like this. Then you get even layers without having to cut the cake. If you want to do it, because we're going to be doing like a layered cake.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and like I said, they're inexpensive, they're non-stick, they're really good. Cook much quicker, which stops you getting a dry cake. Okay, so you can see
so much tips here guys. So
I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's not fully incorporated. So we're just going to do that last mix by hand and make sure everything right at the bottom is all mixed in. Do you like cooking the bowl after you've made cake? Yeah, my kids love cake mix. I don't know if I should let them have it. It's raw egg, isn't it? But I always had it with my mother.
I've never seen so much eggs as well on cake, which is probably nice. I would normally just put like 3-4 eggs. Eggs in my in my cake. Depends on if I'm making like a normal like sponge, then it'll be like 2-3 eggs or something.
We usually, like I said, I go off the eggs. So if I was going to do 3 cake pans like this, I use 7 medium eggs. And like I said, whatever they weigh, then everything else weighs them. So sometimes the measurements are a little bit off. You might end up with a couple of cupcakes, or your cakes might be just a little bit sort of thinner, but it's quite a lot of cake for one cake, you know. So you're not going to be short of cake. And it's the same with cupcake trays.
Right.
If you want to make 12 cupcakes, 2 eggs for 12 cupcakes with my recipe.
2 eggs.
If I make 2 eggs per tray, I know I'm going to get at least 12. I might get a few more, but I'm going to get at least 12. And it's a good way then of judging how many you're going to make. So I'm just leveling these off now, and then we're going to top them up with a bit more cake.
Okay. So some people I saw, they just like bang their tins.
Yeah, I've seen people doing that as well. I don't know why you would do that, because we've just spent quite a lot of time putting air into our cake.
That's why you just...
I don't know. I have seen people doing it. You do it with macarons, because you want to get the air bubbles out.
Right.
But everything else, I kind of want my air in my cake.
The baking world always confuses me, so...
There's lots of rules and regulations, but I think if you just, good recipes, and we should come out with a good result. So we'll pop these in the oven now for about 15 minutes.
Very quick.
I check mine with a knife in the centre. If it comes out clean, we're ready. You can also tell by pushing it in if it comes straight back out.
Yeah.
It's cooked. And you can actually listen to your cake as well.
Listen.
So if you listen to it and it's still making noise, little crackles and pops and things, then it's not cooked.
I'm loving the
theory.
Tips.
So let's put this in the oven then, and we'll come back and make the icing now.
Righty ho!
So, ready to make some buttercream?
I'm so excited.
Now, I sort of break all the rules with my buttercream. I don't sift my icing sugar.
I'm the same.
And I also use either stalk or a stalk substitute. This is the Lidl's version. I really like it for buttercream. If you wanted your buttercream to set firm, so if you were covering it with fondant or something like that, use butter. But if we want to pipe it, this makes it much more pipeable. So if you pop in we're going to put the whole pot of butter in. This will probably be more than enough for the cake I'm making. And did you know you could freeze buttercream?
I did. Well done.
So we're going to use the whole bag of icing sugar.
So normally, from what I remember, I would do like 6 cups of icing sugar.
So I do half butter to the amount of icing sugar I'm using. So I've got a kilo bag of icing sugar, and I've got a 500-gram box of flour of butter or stalk, and that's how I remember it. So again, these recipes I don't write down generally, I just remember them. So we're going to pop that on now. Put on really slow to start.
Really slow?
Yes, because it will go everywhere.
Okay, I need to get the hang of this.
Yeah, well, you've just had a new one for Christmas, haven't you? So
I used it, yeah.
Very excited. She's got a KitchenAid, I got a Kenwood. We'll have to compare.
I don't know this.
So we're going to turn it on slow and let it mix. So I'd say that's almost all the way there. You see how creamy and light it's got? It doesn't have any lumps or anything like that. Icing sugar years ago, same as flour, you used to always have to sift because it would have big lumps or some impurities left in it. And I think these days they've just got so much better at it that it's not as required. So we're going to flavour this with a little bit of vanilla again. But also some spiced biscuit spread.
I'm so looking forward to
Have
this
you ever
one.
tried this?
No.
Right, let's get you a spoon, you can have a little try.
Skis.
There we are. Is that yummy? It's really nice, isn't it? It's so sweet because it's like a biscuit spread. Yeah, it's yummy.
This is actually addictive.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really nice. So we're going to put in about a teaspoon again of vanilla. Again, I don't measure, sorry. Sorry. So we're going to put in...
How much do you think?
A lot.
Is it the whole jar or something?
Probably about half. And then we'll taste it, and then we'll see if it tastes, because we really want it to taste of the Biscoff.
I can't wait.
So let's go with that. So you can see now that's got quite a bit darker. I'll just get that spoon so we can taste it.
Doesn't matter.
You know, do you want to try? I think we need a bit more. Go on, I haven't used that in.
That's alright.
I think we need a bit more.
I'm actually like so excited to.
We should have put this in a bowl before we started. You know that, didn't you?
I got like, I'm like a child.
Do you just want to eat the spoon? There you are. Look, there you are. Have the spoon, darling. So I'm just going to scrape down the sides a little bit to make sure we get it all incorporated. We'll give this one more blast and then we'll pop it in the fridge until we're ready to decorate then.
Right.
It's quite simple.
Very simple.
So you can flavour your buttercreams with lots of flavours. Like obviously we've used the Biscoff flavour today. You do Nutella. I did peanut butter the other day and made the Snickers cake. So I did a chocolate cake with peanut butter and caramel then. So yeah, you can flavour your buttercream with lots of things. But you can split it, and if you do end up splitting it, if you put like fruit curd or something like that, lemon curd's really nice. But if you do too much, you can end up splitting. Just put in a bit of melted white chocolate, and that'll usually bring it back together quite quickly.
White chocolate. Melted
white chocolate, yeah. So you can see that's quite smooth.
Yeah.
You see how
so that's a perfect.
I would say that's quite a nice buttercream, yeah. It could be smoother. There's quite a lot of air in it, so if you wanted to knock the air out, you could spend a while just sort of
just making it. Smooth,
nice and smooth, and
so this is the wee tips that I'm missing.
Depends how much time you want to spend on it as well, because I think that's perfectly fine now to go and pipe and use. Yeah,
that's
okay.
So
I'll
the last one.
Pop it in fridge.
They look so good. Let me see. Oh, that's nice.
See, clean pan.
That
was our preparation.
Trex. I do remember that.
Trex, yeah, it's good. It's good.
And it comes off quite easily as well.
Yeah, you just got to be careful to take it right around the edge when you're taking it off, because if you just went, you'd probably end up ripping your cake.
Nice. You see? It smells so good, by the way.
Yeah. And these are a worthwhile investment as well, stacking cooling racks. So that would make sure they all come out, should we?
That's so good. Ta-da!
Nice clean pan again.
Clean pan. Last one.
Let's hope this one doesn't fail now. There we are. Done.
Perfect, and it smells so nice and soft at the bottom as well.
Okay, so we've actually done quite a lot more filming, as you can see Josie's eating our spring rolls that we made on a different video. So if you want to click down below, I'll link that in. But we're just gonna finish off today by finishing off our cake. So we're gonna do it quite quickly because Josie's due in the airport in 2 hours, and it's 2 hours away. Okay, so we're gonna put a blob of our buttercream, which I put into 2 different piping bags with 2 different nozzles. I'm going to pop on my first cake, so I'm not worried about leveling it. I used the base, so we got a nice flat surface. And I've got 2 different tips. I've got I want to say a 2M, but I don't think it is. No, a 2D Wilton tip, which is lovely mixed roses. And then I've got this much smaller sort of closed in rose, which gives us a sort of, that sort of shape. I'm not sure what sort of shape you would call that, but it's quite pretty.
I'm so excited to give it a go.
Yeah, you can have a go now. So if you can see, I'm holding the bag with this hand, but I don't put pressure on this. I'm pushing completely to the top.
Yeah. And then you just like...
Okay. Yeah. So push, up, release. And they're not perfectly even. I'm not going to worry if they're not perfect. As long as we get a rough sort of shape.
That looks pretty already.
It does look quite pretty, doesn't it? I think... I'm
actually so impressed.
Can't wait! And it's not any more difficult really than spaturing it on, and I haven't completely filled it because it's quite sweet. So we've got some of our Lotus biscuits here. So you just crush them. Yeah, do you want to do one?
Yes, please.
Probably 1 or 2 per layer.
1 or 2 per layer.
Yeah. 2 or 3, I mean, sorry.
Can I eat this?
Yes, you can eat that. As long as you sprinkle some on, that's fine. So I like to make sure they get quite biggish sort of chunks. And then you're going to get that flavour all the way through. Then we'll get our second layer. So I'm going to pop that on.
That's my favourite. That looks so pretty already.
Yeah, I'm going to refill the bag. And then you can have a go then.
Okay, please.
And what I'm going to do is, while we're going to fill the bag, I've just got some of that biscuit spread in here that I'm going to put on a very low heat, and it's going to melt. Okay. So just turn that on while we're doing this.
I always have a wee shake when
you're excited.
Something, yeah.
I have noticed you do a little shake when you get excited. You did last night quite a lot when we went for dinner, didn't you?
It's like I know I'm gonna be like driving like a boy racer to drive to Bristol.
You're still okay. Bristol is actually only about an hour and a half from here, so I think you should be okay because you're giving yourself 2 hours. So
yeah, so just in case of traffic.
And you have to have a bit of cake as well before you leave, and take some. Oh, you can't take some with you on the plane, can you? I suppose.
Well, probably I could.
So to fill the piping bag, I've part filled this one, but basically you hold the top, and bring it down over your hand. You can use a glass or a jug or something like that, but I actually find that more difficult. I like to use my hand, and then take some out, spoon it out, and then slide it up against your fingers. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you one more time now before we start. So tip where you want it, squeeze from the top, and release. But release that pressure before you lift up. There we go. Have a go.
Oh my god. I'm so squeeze from the top and release.
Yeah. Come across a little bit more. Give yourself a bit of a bigger gap so you can make a bigger.
Okay. This is like a child getting.
You don't need to swirl it. We're doing straight up and down like bobs.
Like that.
Yeah, up and lift. And see that you want them a bit bigger. Squeeze.
Squeeze. I'm like a child.
Ooh. You get a rhythm to it, and it's the same with what we'll do on the top is some roses, which is what you can do at the top of cupcakes, which is really nice. Because I know you've got a nozzle kit winging its way to you, haven't you, from the internet?
I can't wait to use it.
But that gives a much nicer finish than just sort of spatching on. And I don't really think once you get used to it, it takes any longer than doing that.
This is actually really good. I'm not sure if I'm doing well, but anyway. That's so good. I just need to probably
I think you're a little bit gentle, which is you all over, Josie. You're very gentle soul.
I need to be rough. No.
It's like me.
Don't be deceived by the looks. I'm actually rough.
So we put another lot of biscuits on here now.
So 1 or 2 you said, yeah?
2 or 3 I would say.
3.
Sorry, I think I said it wrong the first time.
That's so
Give
good.
that. And then we're going to pop this one on.
So this is with a 2D piping.
This is the 2D piping tip now. So we can do some roses on the top. And then we're going to fill them in with some, so we're going to start in the middle, come round.
I'll let you do it, I'll just watch.
Yeah, you sure you don't want to go?
No, I'm scared.
So start one side, then do the opposite side.
I'll watch, then I'll send you a photo. When
We want these to be quite tall.
Okay.
Just going to eat a bit slanted today. Then one in between those.
That's like a tower cake.
Yeah, the layer cakes, they look quite big and quite impressive, but they're not any more difficult to make than like a big cake. If anything, this is probably easier than ones you've covered all over with buttercream.
Oh yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah, because I mean to cover it with buttercream is actually quite hard.
Yeah, to get it smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get our biscuits now and we're going to put them sort of on the top.
Pretty.
And that's when it becomes quite pretty then.
I see. So that's why you make it into a tower or something.
Yeah, it's quite tall.
Very tall.
Can't quite put my biscuits on. And that's why we made the squirrels so big, so because we're pushing them down with the biscuit.
Yeah.
So if you made them quite flat to begin with, they'd be quite... And you can even go in with another little rosette to fill in the gaps. You can kind of do what you want. You can put sprinkles on it. Obviously this is a Lotus cake.
I do. I'm quite fascinated with sprinkles at the moment, so I'm experimenting with that.
Yeah, I've got a scary collection of sprinkles. So many
so
sprinkles.
good, isn't it? Like, but it's just hard to like clean them up after. Well, it looks amazing.
So we're just gonna put this on now. I'm just gonna sort of drizzle it on. Again,
so
not too fancy, just nice little. You want to get it dripping down the side.
I like making a mess, so that's.
Yeah, this is quite a messy part, but it's for a reason, so it's fine.
It's artistic mess. It's like art.
Yeah.
Yay.
And you want to make sure you get your drips. See how they come in down the side? You want to kind of get them all the way around.
Yeah, the drippy ones.
So everyone gets a piece of the drippy sauce. But this is, you can smell it. The flavour comes out when you... And that is pretty much it. And I think, to be honest, it's easier than probably you'd think. And I would just wipe the board now. And sort of...
That's so good. I'm so impressed.
So, are you ready for a slice?
Oh, please.
So I'm just going to...
This is like my eyes bigger than my belly? Yeah. Definitely. Eyes bigger than my belly.
You're not going to get through this, you don't think?
I don't think.
I think I'm going to have to give you the biscuit.
Yes, please.
And then we will take a slice off. Now Martha Stewart in America always has to cut 2 slices and then the first slice comes out better, but I'm not going to do that today. just for time.
That's alright, it looks so nice.
And this actually makes about 20 portions because it's so
20
tall.
20 portions?
Yeah,
wow.
it's surprising. If you cut it right, you can probably get 5 out of each portion. So would you like a fork?
I was just happy to use my hands.
Dive in. Go on, dive in. I'll have a piece as well.
I'll be sophisticated today.
Oh, you're going to have a fork, I know.
If you like, I don't mind. I'm not really sophisticated. I'm so excited.
I've only got a baby fork.
Oh, it's me. Now.
It's nice. Can you taste the biscuit?
That's amazing.
What do you think of the sponge?
The sponge is so good.
Do you think you'll be using that recipe again?
Definitely.
I'm glad you like it. And I'm so glad you came to visit us today.
Thanks for having me.
Because I got an excuse to make a big giant Biscoff cake because this is one of my favourite cakes. I get to
see if only Glasgow and Wales are not too far.
I got a biscuit in that one. Well, thank you very much for coming and I hope you make your flight. Sorry if you don't.
Oops. I'll deal with that when I get to the airport.